Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Hope you've had a great start to your Thursday morning. I know most of my subscribers are not used to seeing me making videos in the mornings, but I have the next few days off, so I'm able to double up my videos, which I typically do when we're talking about an incoming big-time storm system, whether it be in the tropics and we're talking about a big-time hurricane or the winter or a winter storm. A big-time storm system looks to be on the horizon starting tomorrow into the next couple days into the new year. So it's important to give you the latest information on that. The morning videos probably today and tomorrow, and Saturday, not sure if I'm going to have one because I might be storm chasing somewhere in the deep south, that storm system. I'm not quite sure on that. There's so many different dynamic elements to that storm system. There's a snowy side, there's a severe side, and I'm not sure which one I want to choose. So I'll keep you updated on that, but I want to give you an update really on the now, what's going on now into today, because I do think there's kind of a, I wouldn't say an under the radar, undervalued severe weather threat today, but I think this is supposed to be the lull in between severe weather threats as opposed to the one that happened last night and the one that's probably going to begin to happen tomorrow into the next day. But I do think there's going to be some severe weather today. So let's break down what's going to happen. We'll give you the latest information, and then we'll briefly talk about the storm system and the latest model information for the storm system for our New Year's Eve and New Year's Day storm system. And we'll break that down for you guys. So if you guys have not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. I've gotten an amazing amount of growth over the last few days, at least for my standards. And I know I'm a smaller weather YouTube channel compared to a lot of other bigger ones out there, but I'm trying to get my name out there and I'm trying to improve my setup. That's why I'm always asking for subscribers. It helps me to be able to grow what I got. There's areas to join my channel also. I'm not able to give out cool perks or anything yet, but that is something that's going to be introduced sometime in next year when my platform continues to grow and I can put more time and effort into this. So I definitely hope to do this for a living sometime in the future. I'm 30 years old, so hopefully by the time I get to my mid-30s, I can maybe do something like this full time. That's definitely a dream of mine. You guys help that to come true for me. So let me stop mumbling there. Last night's tornado threat, it did come through. You know, if there's a town in Winfield, Alabama, which is somewhere back in this area right into here, that actually got hit by a tornado and it caused significant damage. I don't think it leveled the town or anything. I think it was a smaller town, but it did cause significant damage. There was also a tornado reported somewhere in southwest Georgia yesterday, kind of an under the radar tornado where the threat for severe weather was much lower, but they had a tornado also down there that caused damage. But right now we have ongoing strong storms and heavy rain. It's kind of moving more west to east, so it's training over the same areas. So kind of a thing that's not going to be talked about near as much today is the flooding threat, because I think this heavy rain is going to be going over the same areas. So heavy rain starting to move into Atlanta. You guys are going to pick up probably over an inch of rain here in the next few hours, and this will continue to move in. And let's try to get to the Atlanta radar here. This will continue to move into Atlanta. In fact, it's already been raining very heavily in Atlanta, especially in the northern suburbs. It's already been raining in South Carolina, and this piece of energy will continue to move into South Carolina. What we have to watch for here is down south. Can any renegade supercells get going? There's a little bit of a low-level jet, so there's a little bit of a spin to the atmosphere in this area. The CAPE is going to grow in the southern regions here into the 1,500 to 2,000 joules per kilogram surface CAPE. That's enough CAPE to get the convective energy part of these storms going. So watch in central Georgia today for any severe storms, especially if you look on radar. And these things can get discrete. That means there's a more of an elevated tornado threat with this with these storms. If it stays like real congealed like this all day, I think the biggest threat will be heavy rain and stronger winds. But let's take a look at the latest HRRR model and let's get going. First off, let's start off by saying there is just a marginal risk. I thought maybe it would uptick to a slight risk, and I think it potentially still could sometime in the day. If it does, it'll be sometime for Georgia, maybe areas of Alabama and southern South Carolina, and I think it would be for this area. But we'll see how this happens here. Tornado threat, 2% chance in this entire area, pretty large area of 25 miles in any given location. I really think somewhere is going to see some kind of tornado warning or something today. Whether there's going to be a legit tornado, that's a big question here. But it'll be a messy storm mode, meaning I mean, basically this is forested area. I mean, it's not like you're in the Midwest. You're not going to see it anyways. But I think if any tornado does form, it's probably going to be hard to see. It might be rain wrapped. So stay weather aware in this area today. Like I said, today isn't probably being talked about near as much just due to it being overshadowed by the event last night and the events coming here in the future. But this is today. This is getting into around the noon time frame. You already have stronger storms popping up in the Midlands of South Carolina. You can continue to have waves of storms moving through Alabama and then northern to central Georgia. Watch any of them to get discreet. Watch these cells down here and basically in more southern areas of Georgia. These cells can be dangerous just south of Macon. Got to watch these for sure. They can be the ones that turn into maybe a supercell, but you also have to watch these as you get into the 3 to 4 to 5 p.m. range in South Carolina, even in Alabama, even in Georgia. Even though it doesn't show the convection is expansive here, there's still going to be convection here. But the southern end, the southern flanks of these lines of storms, or if they're discrete, can have some rotation to them south of Columbia. I really think once you get Columbia points north, I think the severe storms, and definitely the tornado threat begins to decrease here, as you don't have as much moist air and you don't have basically as much cape to really provide to the energy to a tornado threat. Therefore, you still could have severe weather. But going here, more storms continue to fire up overnight tonight. So waves of storms. I mean, I really think the heavy rain threat is really the under radar threat here today. But convective energy really explodes here south of Atlanta. Cape values reaching around the 2,000 level. That's a lot of convective energy, and I really think that might be the saving grace for areas Columbia points north potentially is the early morning convection that could potentially help to stabilize the atmosphere early on. Now, I do think there'll be storms regardless. That's why you see this kind of lull in the Cape here. It's because convection already blowing up in this area, kind of using up all the energy. But plenty of energy here in central and southern Georgia. So if you're in these areas today, in southern areas of South Carolina, even southern areas of Alabama, heck, even watch out for the panhandle of Florida. I really think that's going to be your highest threat level of severe weather in general, and really your highest threat level of tornadoes. But tornado threat could reach all the way into North Carolina today, according to the Storm Prediction Center. As far as temperature, very warm day. Today across the southeast, you'll notice, especially southern areas of the southeast, it'll feel a lot warmer today because the humidity will get maxed out. These are actual surface temperatures rising into the 70s. There'll be a little bit of a kind of a rain boundary in place where all the heavy rain will be to points north. But areas of southern South Carolina, southern Georgia, definitely into Florida, could get all the way into the 80s today. And then mix that with this higher end dew points. Let me click this. You mix these with these higher end dew points that will be in place. Dew points in the 60s and 70s and in central and southern Georgia and Alabama and South Carolina. You have plenty of moisture at bay here. So here's something that I'm watching here is the under the radar rain threat here. As you're going through about 18 hours out, this takes us to about 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Whoever gets, we call it training of storms, meaning the storms are literally going over the same areas. There's going to be areas where these storms are going to train over the same areas. So whoever that happens could get 2 to 3 inches of rain today between now and midnight. Bullseye looks to be anywhere from Atlanta to maybe to Columbia, maybe a little areas point south. So watch out today for sure. You got to watch out. This is kind of the under the radar threat. Is heavy rain and flooding, especially for areas who have not seen a lot of rain lately. So be careful. Going forward here, we're not going to get super detailed on this like we have in the night videos. We're going to do that tonight once we know more, but a slight risk continues to be introduced for tomorrow. Tornado threat is a 5% chance in this slim area, and we'll get detailed tonight, I promise you guys. But this is a complex system, especially it gets even more complex for New Year's Day, as there's still question marks whether we're going to have more of a messy storm mode or if any storms can get discrete in this system. If you go down here, it mentions questions regarding basically if it's going to be a stabilized atmosphere or not, is north of Tennessee border. with Alabama and Mississippi. Timing, intensity, and track differences with the surface low, which has always been a big-time question mark, and the potential for a messy storm mode. Normally when you have a messy storm mode, it decreases the tornado threat. And what they're basically saying is this is going to be very linear in spots. And if you look right here, it says higher probabilities will be necessary in later outlooks if these issues resolve and zone of greater threat becomes more clear. So what they're saying is an enhanced risk can be introduced somewhere, but they have not dropped that. To me, I think the writing on the wall is that an enhanced risk will be introduced, but I think the biggest question is they don't know where to put it. I don't think any of us do, and they're the experts. And so wherever the zone is, basically where you can get the less messy storm mode, at the same time, the best atmospheric conditions for severe weather will probably get that enhanced risk. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's in the same areas as the threat last night was. But there will be a lot better of an upper air pattern here in place, meaning a more broad low-level jet. And yeah, this could be a dangerous setup because there could be embedded tornadoes and heavy rain, and yeah. So we're going to get more detail about that tonight. As far as the snow side, very interesting things overnight. It started last night. Here comes that system, Arctic boundary, Arctic front moves through. Here comes that low pressure, that surface trough. Then another potential low pressure pops up right here. This allows for an expansive shield of precipitation deeper into the cold air points west, which means potentially you could go from severe weather in Alabama and Tennessee to snow in 24 hours. And I don't think this is going to accumulate much if it happens. I think the mountains might see much, but this would bring snow all the way into Atlanta, Huntsville, Alabama, Tennessee, definitely Kentucky, and most certainly the Appalachian Mountains are going to see snow, especially the northwest slopes. I think they'll see snow regardless. And yeah, this could potentially bring a squall line of storms along this frontal boundary into the Carolinas and Georgia. And then as the low pressure is pulling away and cold air becomes more entrenched into this precipitation, maybe a band of very heavy snow in you know, Virginia, parts of Maryland, coastal areas of Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, gets very close to the big cities. Very interesting system. Very, very interesting. The European, what it's showing, it is actually trended a little bit towards the GFS. It shows that backside precipitation as you're getting as early as Sunday evening. Sunday afternoon, actually. Light snow breaking out into Memphis, into Nashville, maybe a little bit heavier snow, and then the northwest flow event begins to kick into the mountains of North Carolina, Tennessee, and Virginia. But as far as snow for Virginia in the same area as the GFS is showing, it's not quite there as much as the GFS. But as far as the EPS ensembles, you know, you're still having that big-time storm system showing up for Chicago, but it is actually lessened a little bit, not showing as much snow. And then it's showing a little bit of a signal down here now. But to me, I think it's almost inevitable that we are likely going to see at least some flurries in the Mid-South. I really think we are. If you look at the signal in the GEFS ensembles, still showing a stout winter storm for the Midwest into Chicago and to Michigan. And then there's still that signal down south. We're going to get much more detail about this tonight. This video has already went longer than I wanted it to go. But anyways, y'all stay tuned. There's a lot to discuss, and I'm going to be talking y'all to death because there's a lot to talk about. So God bless all y'all. Y'all stay safe today. Like I said, it's going to be severe weather, so stay weather aware. And God bless all y'all.